Previously on Conversations with Cal. Miss Stephanie House Jones, Councilwoman, thank you for being on the show.
Listen, Cal, I gotta take you wherever I go. I'm loving the introduction and the positive vibe energy.
Let's start a conversation.
Okay.
So, I have to admit to you that, I live in Ward 7.
Okay, hey.
I'm a Ward 7. And I always get my newsletter, Scenes and Sounds of 7. And just wanted to say you do a remarkable job. I wanted to get that out of the way first.
I really, really appreciate that. It's a team. It's a collection of us working together to be able to meet all of our residents where they are and get information to them so they can make informed decisions.
What has been the biggest challenge for you being a woman of color in the political arena, would you say?
The biggest challenge for me personally on my journey is the underestimating and the undervalue of the skill and the value to I bring to this work.
And elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, people, they have these notions in life of what certain people can't do. For me, myself, what a Black woman can or cannot do, because many people have they just don't have that experience.
Greetings, Cleveland, and welcome to Conversations with Cal, the show that initiates engaging conversation. I'm your host, Cornell Calhoun III, and today our conversation centers around Bessie's Angels, a nonprofit organization that nurtures, empowers, educates, and provides low-income housing for young women touched by the foster care system. And here to tell us more about this wonderful organization is the Executive Director, Tonya Perkins-Stoudermire, and the Vice Chair, Ms. LaToya Smith. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Let's start a conversation.
All right.
What was the inspiration for Bessie's Angels?
Oh, wow. So my grandmother, the organization is named after her.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, the organization is named after her, and she was a very spiritual woman. And so in her passing, I prayed a lot and asked God, what would he have me do? Because even though I've been in the community and done things in the community for most of my life, I just felt like I wasn't doing enough. And then I found out about foster youth. I worked at a bank for a while, and foster youth were coming in, and they had these stories that just touched my heart, and they did not go away. They just kept coming. And I'd been in banking for many years, but all of a sudden, they just start showing up. And I wanted to find a way to make life better for them and to support them, because they didn't have a Bessie in their life. They didn't have a foundation, the foundation that I had.
The young women that you assist, what are the ages?
So we serve 16 to 24. The reality is that your life doesn't become perfect at 24. So young women who we've been serving, once they reach the age of 24, depending on what their need is, we will still help them. But technically, it's 16 to 24.
And how are the women selected, chosen, or do they just come to the organization? How does that work?
So there are several ways that you can work with us. We serve all of Cuyahoga County and surrounding counties. You do not have to have emancipated out of foster care. You don't have to live in Bessie's place. If you spent one day in foster care and you're between 16 and 24, then we can help you. So we get referrals from the public. We get referrals from the counties, the surrounding counties. And Cuyahoga County has been a great partner of ours. And then we get referrals from the private sector.
So how many young women are housed at Bessie's place at a certain period of time?
So our maximum capacity averages around 12, because we have 3 homes, but we're not a group home. And so we want to make that clear. We have a roommate philosophy. So it's typically 2 young ladies to each unit, although we have enough room for 3. But we want them to learn how to be good roommates because we all know how much it costs to live these days and how much rents are. And so typically, if you're not making a lot of money, you're going to need a roommate.
What are the most pressing challenges for young women in the foster care system? What you say?
So I tell everybody to just shut your eyes for a moment and imagine what your life would be like had you not have a mother and a father. Not only did you not have a mother and a father, but you moved from home to home and place to place. And so you don't have the foundation of friendships and decision-making and the things that most of us kind of take for granted. If you're 18 and you happen to own a car and it breaks down in the middle of the night, maybe you work the night shift, who are you going to call? You probably don't have any siblings that you can call for help. You don't really have any real friends that you can call for help, and you don't have any money. So they face a variety of problems, the same problems other people have, but theirs are magnified because they don't have help.
What role of does education play in the Bessie Angels program?
You know, education plays a large role in all of our lives. And nowadays, if you're not in school, if you don't have a trade, then how do you rise up? What do you do? And so we have a great partnership with Cuyahoga Community College. Mm-hmm. We have a workshop every fourth Thursday of the month from 3:30 to 5:30. And we've been doing that for years because we want our young people to know where to find us. They might come to a workshop in January. We might not see them again until August, but they know that we're going to be there every fourth Thursday from 3:30 to 5:30. And if you're a young woman who have been impacted by foster care and you're between the ages of 16 and 20, then you can come. And those workshops do all kinds of stuff. We have financial literacy, we have job skills, we have life skills. We cover what it means or what you would need to be successful. You're going to eat. We provide gift cards. So when you leave there, you're going to have a meal. You'll have bus passes, and you'll have a gift card that might buy you 2 or 3 more meals, depending on how you spend your money.
So do you ever have just young ladies who just show up at Bessie's place and inquiring about the programs?
So we don't have young ladies that just show up at Bessie's place, because while we have an office located on Miles, they can go to our website and apply for housing. So usually we have people who just show up at our workshops, but usually they go through an interview process if they want to be at Bessie's place. The interview process is simple because, when you're a foster kid, you get shipped around a lot. You don't get to make a decision about where you're going to live or how you're going to live. We want them to choose us. So a big part of the decision-making process is theirs. Do you want to live here? And this is what the space looks like. Come and see the space and choose us. And if you choose us, we work from there.
And why did you specifically select females as opposed to males?
You know what? People ask me that question all the time, and I laugh because I understand, why won't you choose men? Men need help too. So the reality of it, and LaToya can attest to this, when you work in an environment, a nonprofit environment, and you are a server, you're providing service. You're here to serve these young people. Your family goes on that ride with you. And so I did not choose men because I could go home to my husband and say, well, so-and-so said such and such, and he could deal with that because it was a woman. I could talk to my sons about my challenging day, and it's okay because I had that challenge with women. But if I go home and tell my husband, this guy said such and such and such to me, it may not be received the same. I live with a lot of alpha males. Even my dog is a male. So, it just laid on my heart. And my first experience with foster youth were with women. But it's easier for me to serve women because I am a woman. Women are having the children. They're keeping the children. And so when you take all of that and you take the fact that my family has been very supportive on this journey, it just was a good fit to serve women.
What's the most rewarding aspect of your job?
Okay.
All right.
Take your time.
There's been young ladies that have been with us for years. And sometimes they come to Bessie's place, and most of the time when they leave Bessie's place, they leave a little mad. Because, as adults, we make adulting look so easy. We make it look good, and it's not easy, it's hard. But the most rewarding part is when you can leave, but you can come back and talk to us. Okay, so I'll give you a quick example. I don't know how the time works, but I'll give you a quick example.
Give it to me.
So our last workshop, last month, we had about 10 young ladies. 3 of those young women were former residents of Bessie's place. The other 7, they just come to the workshop. Some of them didn't know us, they were new. But the 3 were there. We were talking about not just self-care, but soul care. And how you present yourself to other people, how you support other people. And I explained to the young ladies, we start with love. Like everything we do, it starts with love. And you may not like what we say to you. You may not be ready for the instruction that we give. You might feel like we don't know what we're talking about and we're being unfair. But what you can't say is that we don't lead with love. And it was so beautiful because the 3 young ladies that left a little angry, all of them were nodding their heads, and they were telling the other young ladies that's the truth. And so when you can, just because you're a kid, just because you've been fostered, we should not expect for you to just trust somebody because we said you can trust us. You know what? It takes about a year for our youth for us to gain their trust. And we want to earn their trust. And the fact that they could come back and they know that we love them, and they know that we lead with love, and they can tell that to somebody else, that's the most rewarding part. When I feel like it was just this idea I had and I need to go sit down, when the young ladies can say, I know they love me, when they can disappear and call us and say, Miss Tonya, I need, I'm in Texas and I can't get home, and we can send them an airline ticket so that they can get back from wherever or whatever was going on in Texas. That's the, people are disappearing every day.
Right.
And so those are the kind of things that remind me that it's okay for me to keep doing this.
Let's bring LaToya in here. LaToya, how has the organization Bessie's Angels impacted your life?
Yeah, so I want to answer this question in 2 ways. So the first way it has impacted my life is, one, Tonya has impacted my life. Being under her leadership has taught me how to be a better leader, taught me how to be a better professional, taught me how to be a better mother, taught me how to be a better professional in this nonprofit. And it's taught me how to be more understanding for this population, right? And so I started out as a volunteer, participating in the walk many years ago. And I was fortunate enough to have a beautiful mother until she transitioned 8 years ago. And so, again, for me, having my mother in my life and was such an influence, I was so grateful. And to experience these young women who have been through so much. And I grew up in a single parent home, and, things wasn't always rosy and fun, but I had a nurturing, loving mother. And for these young ladies to not experience some of the things that I've experienced of having a nurturing, loving mother, I was able to level set a little differently because I had different perspective, and I also created a lot of stories about maybe how some of these women would behave and how they would, seem ungrateful, or just how they sometimes treated Tonya and things like that. And then once I had an opportunity to really interact with the ladies and really had an opportunity to understand their story, I had to change. And I learned how to meet people where they are and to let go of my perception, let go of my story, let go of everything so that I can better have an understanding to have a relationship. And so I also learned grace. I also learned patience. It's a lot of things I had to learn, and I chose to learn because of being part of this organization. And so again, just working with this population and understanding some of the trauma that some of these young ladies been through. And then also being in this space and understanding that mental illness is real. And untreated mental illness and untreated trauma, and what happens when you have these experiences with not much support, when you have these experiences and you're not being listened to, when your voice is not heard and people dismiss you, it's different. And so I'm so appreciative of Tonya, who has helped me and helped the board members to learn in a very safe environment and bring resources to us to help us to have a better understanding of how we help our clients or our participants in this program. And so I'm so grateful. So my lens has changed, and how I see things and how I embrace and love these ladies that come into our program, and how to love differently, because you have to love with some tough love too now, because, there's sometimes manipulation involved, and also how folks treat you and things like that. So I'm just grateful for just how she has taught us how to embrace these ladies in a different way, and how to love without condition. And so I'm just grateful for this experience. And so, and then also too, as a board member and the expansion for how we want to continue to grow as an organization, I have aspirations for our organization and how we can make even more of an impact in our community. Because we need to make more of an impact in our community. We make a great impact right now, but we can make an even greater impact, because it's very difficult to identify individuals in this space. Homelessness in this particular in this area is great. I mean, everybody deserves a home. Everyone deserves a place to live. And our homeless population is huge in this market. And it's very difficult to identify these young people once they get of age, and to find them and to bring them back. And so we do our very best to reach out and to help. Tonya's phone is ringing 2 and 3 in the morning. And we've had some very tough conversations about those calls at 2 and 3 in the morning, because she has put herself in situations and dangerous situations and leaving her home to rescue folks. But again, what she said earlier about building trust. When I tell you, when you build trust with those young people, regardless of how angry or how they feel, once you build that trust, they will call, and they know who to call. And they know where to come. And so I think that's the other part that I love about our organization, is that we stand by our word. And that's the reason why we're still 12 years to this day, a strong organization. And people have respect for our organization, because we do what we say we were going to do. And we honor that.
Yeah, you got me looking at Tonya differently, girl.
Yeah, she surprised me. she surprised me.
What's the biggest challenge for your organization?
It's with nonprofits' money. We have rental assistance programs. We have utility assistance programs. We pay phone bills. We buy clothes. We buy medicine. We advocate at the doctor's office for our young people. We advocate with their employer if we can, because trauma shows itself in a variety of different ways. And so we have a free store where they can come and get anything from a microwave to a dish towel. We have a boutique. We're actually working Saturday. We have an event where we're going to try to redo the boutique. We have a laundry that's open to young women who have been impacted by foster care. All they have to do is go to the website and register. They can do 2 loads of laundry free per week. They don't have to bring dish detergent or anything. And if they need a basket, we'll supply that. We have Uber services. We give bus passes, gift cards. All of that costs money, and we don't get government funding. And so the impact that what's going on today, where a lot of nonprofits are, or a lot of organizations that would normally donate to us, their funds are being cut. Right. It leaves us in a very vulnerable position because we want to continue to do these services. So I'll give you an example. We had a young lady who had an apartment. Her rent was $975 a month or $909, somewhere around there. She lost her job. She got another job in about 3 weeks, but it made her late with everything, because now she has to wait another 2 weeks to get paid. So we said, okay, we'll pay 1 month's rent, and then we'll because she said, like, Miss Tonya, I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to leave this apartment. But once you get an eviction, it's you have an eviction on your record and you're 20. Who's going to rent to you? Right. So we said, we will subsidize your rent until your lease is up, which she had about 6 months. We'll give you $200. You're responsible for the remaining amount. And then when you're done, you can move into Bessie's place until you save up some money. So when you move out again, you can sustain. So we do those types of things. We do charge rent at Bessie's place, but nobody really pays. So, but we don't evict you for non-payment. And so we have a light bill, we have water bills, we have gas bill, we have all of these things. We do a cooking class once a month. We deliver, it's like HelloFresh on steroids. We deliver all of the groceries. Like whatever the recipe is, we deliver that, sometimes with some extras. Because if you don't have pots, then what good is a cooking class? Right. If you don't have utensils, and then they meet us on Zoom. They don't even have to leave the house. Just meet us on Zoom, and we do the recipes together. And we do that every second Saturday. So we have a mobile pantry. So if someone calls us or they go to the website and said, I'm hungry, I don't have any food, then we find out what they eat and we have it delivered to them from one of the grocery stores, one of the delivery services. All of that costs. And so there's nothing essentially that we charge for except for maybe rent. And that's always negotiable. Right. But all the services that we provide are free.
So if someone wanted to volunteer or donate to the organization, what do they do?
So they just go to our website and click on volunteer. We're not taking clothing donations right now, only because people tend to donate what they wear. Young people don't wear what we wear, right. And so we put a halt on that until we finish remodeling our boutique. Okay. But we do take other donations. Sometimes we take furniture. If somebody calls us, then I send a announcement out to the young ladies who needs a couch, who needs a bed, who needs this and who needs that. And I let them know either we can have it or we can't. But moving, see, that's the other thing. If you ever tried to have somebody move some furniture, that's expensive too. Right. So, if you go to the laundry, that's $10 for one load. Right. So we have to look at all of those things and we provide those things. And so we're always looking for donations.
So what is the website and the phone number? And we can put it on the board.
Okay, www.bessiesangels.org. And you can reach us at 440-256-6663.
Give me that one more time.
440-256-6663.
Because I think somebody's going to donate after seeing this show.
Well, it would be, listen, it would be absolutely, that would be wonderful.
I'm telling you, I am myself.
Well, that's wonderful.
Now, you have a big event coming up, right?
We sure do.
Talk about it. Talk about it, Toya.
So this is one of our major fundraisers. And so this is our 12th annual walk and run. It's going to be held on May 31st. This is on a Saturday at Tri-C Eastern Campus. And so this is our biggest fundraiser, and this is helping us raise funds not only for the programming that you just heard and all the things that we do to help support Bessie's Angels, but this is also helping us as we are capital fundraising for our next project that we're working on, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But so our walk run is going to be May 31st. Tri-C. We asking that everybody come on out.
Yes.
And so May is foster care month. So we changed the date. We wanted it to be in foster care month because that's the biggest month ever. Also, we changed the location because our good partnerships with Tri-C have been so gracious to us. So we're going to do it at that campus. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. It's going to be around, but registration starts at 8:00, and we have some fun surprises that's going to happen. So it's a lot of fun. So it's a family affair. So we'll have things for the children. We're going to have resource tables to be able to get some information. We're also going to have some presentation or what have you. So again, that's our day that we have pretty much awareness of what we do. We'll also share our progress of what we've done over the past few years to let people know all the things that we have done. But it's our major fundraiser. So we ask that people come out and walk or run. We also ask that if you can't, to donate. We also looking for angel captains. So we have folks who are our angel captains. And what that means is that you become an angel captain and we ask that you recruit 20 people to come run. So if you're part of a fraternity or sorority, we ask that you have your own team. If you're part of run groups, if you have BRGs or ERGs at your companies, that you create your own teams and you come on out. We want to see that area full of people. There's plenty of parking, plenty of things to do in that area. So we ask that you come on out, spend a little bit part of your morning with us, and we have a grand time.
Talk about this capital project that you have.
You know what? I'm so excited. So right now, currently we have 3 homes. And our free store and our laundry is located in the basement of one home. We have a meditation space on the 3rd floor. We use every inch of our spaces. And then in the second home, there is the boutique. We have identified a location that if we can build our capital campaign, we can have our free store, our laundry, and our boutique in the same place and housing. So it's going to be like a mini campus, maybe a village. We haven't thought of the name of it yet, but it's a capital campaign. We need to raise about $1 million. It's going to be in a very defining place, easy to find, because right now, all of our free store and our laundry and our boutique are in neighborhoods. So you have to walk down the street. If we get this location and we can kick this off, then the bus stop will be virtually in front of the building. So it will be easy for our young people to find. They just get off the bus and walk through the doors. And so we're really excited about it. But again, you have to raise money. The building is in decent shape, but our young people, we're not going to have our young people live in some place that I wouldn't live.
Right.
Like we want them to. So when we remodel it, it won't be a handyman special. Right. It's going to be nice. And so we need support for that, to do that.
What do you want the legacy of Bessie's Angels to be?
Oh, love. I want young women when they're 30 and they're 40 and they're 50 to be able to say, I have a sisterhood because of Bessie's Angels. I finished school because I had the support of Bessie's Angels. I know how to demonstrate love myself because somebody loved me. We see young kids and we have all these opinions about why they are the way they are. Our foster girls are just like any other woman, except they've had traumas beyond what we can imagine. And when you see a young person that may not be the cleanest, when you see her with a bonnet on her head or walking around in her house shoes, stop for a minute and think that might be all she has, and we don't really think like that. We think about what's inappropriate. And sometimes it's just a matter of giving in love so that you don't make people feel bad. You don't make them feel less than because maybe you did something for them. And I want the legacy of Bessie's Angels to be one where people can say, I am, because they were.
Well spoken. Well spoken.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the show, man. This has been an enlightening moment for me. I'm definitely going to send you that donation because you touched my
Tell all your friends, and see, that's what we need. We just imagine if we could get 1,000 people to send us $25, or we can get 1,000 people to donate $100. It could get us where we need to be. We can, right now we don't house families. We don't take women, house women who have children, but we can give a home to a young mother. We can help her raise her babies. And that's what we dream of, and I just want our legacy to be one where we created beautiful, loving families that are just paying it forward by supporting other people. When people give to you, it teaches you how to give to somebody else.
That's right.
Let's make that happen.
Okay.
Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you
for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And thanks to all of you for tuning in. I'm Cornell Calhoun III for Conversations with Cal. And remember, if you don't like what's being said, change the conversation.